Hi there, and thanks for watching. My name is Driz, and I'm going to do another mod tutorial here on how to make biomes. As you can see, it's not very difficult. It's not much more difficult than almost anything else at this point that I've shown you. The first thing you want to do is, well, let me go into what I'm going to talk to you about today. Basically, I'm going to show you how to make a biome, how to get a feature and add the feature to the biome. But it's going to be all pretty basic things that are already in the game. I'm going to show you where to find some resources on where the features are. And as you can see, there's entity types, default biome features, and actual features that you can add, like mine shafts and things like that, which I'm going to go through and show you. I'm going to show you how to register your biome, how to make your biome spawn, show you some tricks on making sure your biome is working because a lot of people have issues with that. But it's a pretty simple process. Just like making a block, a custom block, you need to make um, its own class for the biome, which I call test biome, which you're going to call eventually, but we'll get to that. So let's start with the basics, which is we're going to make another subscribe event to register the biome because everything has to be registered, and I'll show you that it's registering after this. But here we have our mod subscriber. This one's a bit different than the one I have in the other one, but you can add mod ID equals, whoops, let's add this here. Test mod. Perfect. Oh, whoops. Modus. Mod ID. Perfect. Oh, whoops. This is supposed to be a comma. I don't know what I was doing there. And so basically, you want to make a biome here. You want to declare your biome name. This is your biome name. This is what you're going to call when you call your biome. Pretty much when you do anything, you're going to register your biome using registry event like you're doing pretty much all the time. Lots of events all the time. But this one says biome, unlike the other two, which said block and item. And just like the other ones, you're going to make another register biome, and it's going to have all of these beautiful options in here. I don't think it has to have all of these things, but these are the things that are important, like declaring that it's a warm biome and having the different biome types and the wait. So how often it spawns. I'm going to increase this so that um, when we do see the biome and we go to a custom world and we have all the biomes there, we're more than likely to see our biome than any other biome. That way, it works out better. I'm going to make our biome look a little bit different so that when we look for it, we can see it pretty easily. Um, so there's a lot of things here. Number one is you're registering the name and the biome name, which is this one here. And you're registering. Sorry, and this here is probably the most important one. Without this, essentially your biome won't spawn in the default world provider. So you really need this to have it spawn. It's kind of the most important thing. Otherwise, though, um, everything pretty much just needs to stay the same. This will say that your biome has registered. It's not important. I have it in here just because it's sometimes it can be difficult when you're doing things, and biomes are something that is pretty hard to find sometimes, and knowing that it's registered can sometimes like make you feel better about having it, since you can't really see it in your item list, for example, or in your item group, so it makes it a little bit easier. So once you do all of this here and you have all of these things written out, you actually want to register your biome. So I'm registering test biome over here using this method here, register biome. If you know Java, you should know at least this, the basics of what all of this is and what it means. So if you don't know, I suggest you go back and read some Java books and figure some things out. I added the biome manager, the biome type, which is warm here. And then the name of my biome, I'm going to call it test biome. I'm going to show you a few different ways to find it. I added the weight though I set it quite high so that when we do look for it, it's pretty easy. And I added two different types to show you because both you can add multiple types if you do it this way. And it's a forest and it's a dense forest. But you can add more, so I can type comma, biome, dictionary, period, type, and then let's go with spooky. There we go. Perfect. And so let's go to our test biome here. We really just need these two to make a biome. It's not very complicated, but I'm going to go through. The first thing you want to do is extend biome, and then you want to make your constructor, but you want to keep the brackets empty because most of everything that makes your biome a biome is going to be within your super here. So it's going to be pretty easy. You need to write a new builder in brackets, and then that's pretty much it. And then you type in period surface builder, and then you add your surface builder. This is essentially your surface. Your surface will look different depending on what you have here. It does come with different options, and I will show you how to make a custom surface builder at some point. You can make it just arrows. There's a lot of options, but all this does really is it chooses your first three blocks. Sorry, it determines your surface block, which is going to be grass, and then it determines the next three blocks under that, which are going to be dirt, and then this is the block that's going to be underneath water. So that's how it works when I show you how to make a custom service builder, which should be within the next couple of videos. You'll see what I mean by all of this, and it will be much more detailed. But for now, there's a lot of options for surface builders. If you take a look, when you throw down a period, it will give you a bunch of options. I usually pick default, but there's a bunch of different options: Badlands, Rows of Badlands, Gravel, Mountain, so on. The next thing you need is precipitation. Does it rain? You can pick none, I'm pretty sure. Yeah, none, rain, snow. If it's a mountain, you want snow. The category, which is mine's a forest. There are other options. Like there are options for everything. So if you do see some of these, just know that you're not limited to what I have written down. If you want it to be an end, adding to the end default is a little bit difficult. It's not something that's pretty easy, so not many people are doing it right now. So I might show it when I figure it out, but who knows. So let's go back to forest. So this is the depth. This determines essentially how high and how mountainous it is. You can play around with this, so it doesn't have to be like this, but it has to be in a float, and you can essentially do whatever. I mean, if the higher this number is, the more mountainous it'll be, the more straight it'll be essentially. This is your scale. This is going to be how large your biome is. Try to keep it pretty small because some of them can get pretty big. This is also the temperature. This is important if you have a warm biome, or if you have a cold biome, or if you have a desert biome. Just because having the temperature correct will determine whether or not it snows, whether or not it rains, even if you have the rain type set to snow or rain. This will choose the amount of rain, and this is for watercolor, and the water fog color for when you're underwater. And then when you're done, you always write this at the end, and it should just be like this. There really isn't much more to it. The rest of this I'm going to explain right now. So these are your options for customizing it. So really you only need this. Once this is done, none of this is important. You don't really need any of this, but it will just be an empty barren, whatever you have as a surface builder. There won't be any trees, no nothing. So if you want to add features, there are a lot of ways to do it. You can actually look up the different biomes, desert biome, and this is exactly what we're doing, the exact same thing. Nothing's different. These are your options: default flowers, pyramids, desert pyramids. Like there are so many options. Um, and you can go through and like this is the feature options. There's so many igloos. You can even make igloos, shipwrecks, swamp huts. There are a lot that aren't even common. Blue ice, just different options here. So you can really pick anything you want. I made it pretty simple. Um, Otherwise, this is you would add structure if it's a feature structure. This is vegetation, which is for dark oak tree. So if you're adding dark oak tree, you add a bit. There's a bit more information. The frequency, it's very frequent, as you can see. I'm gonna make it a little bit more scarce, just so that you guys have an understanding. These are carvers, these add structures, caves, lakes, monster rooms, ores, sediment disks, grass, like just the grass on top, springs, freeze the top layer when it's freezable. These are options for entities, different entity types. Oh, before I go into that, these are the different carvers, different options. This is for the ocean. Just different options here. You can really go through extra gold ore, extra emerald ore, like infested stone, and you can make, like I said, we can make our own. There's a lot of different options here. Add mushrooms, reed pumpkins. So really going through this is super important if you're making a biome. And even these are the different entity types. There are so many different entities already in Minecraft that even if you don't add any, there's a lot of options, right? So this is essentially how you make a biome. You just add a bunch of these different options here and put them all together, and then boom, you have a biome. These Customizing these are what make your biome unique. And customizing the world itself is what makes the the rest of what's underneath unique. Because essentially, um, your biome is what's on the surface for the most part. And like you can add certain things to it, like caves and things like that underground and like monster rooms. But at the end of the day, a lot of that stuff is determined by the world, except for features essentially. So like you can't change the filler block because the filler block is changed somewhere else. So on that note, though, that's pretty much everything you need to know when it comes to this kind of thing for making a basic biome. There really isn't much more to this. If you do want more resources, you really just need to look up what currently exists. Desert Hills biome, Desert Lakes biome, pyramid piece structures. Like really just look up what's currently there and then you can find out what already exists and how you can make your own of those things. I will be making a video on how to add features in the future. And yeah, if you have any questions, you can find me on my Discord, which is in the description below, on my Forge page, and the GitHub will have all of this information if you're looking for something like this to make your own. When it comes to the registries, you can put all your registries in the exact same class. I'm separating them like this just because I'm choosing to do that, but you don't have to do that at all. You can put them all in the same class. And yeah, hopefully I was able to help you out. Thanks a lot. Bye.